So, hi friends, welcome to my word processing class using Microsoft Office Word for Beginners, day 4. So far, we've made progress, and I'm very happy to be your facilitator, taking you through this journey of becoming a professional user of Microsoft Office Word. I am Sakawaka. My name Sakawaka is spelled Sakawaka. Sakawaka. What a funny name there. And today in day 4, we will be looking at the clipboard, which is this. We'll be looking at the clipboard, we'll be looking at styles, we'll be looking at editing to enable us round up with the home tab. Remember, Day 2, we looked at font, and day 3, we looked at paragraph. So today we'll be looking at clipboard, we'll be looking at styles, and then we'll be looking at editing. And just a little away from that, under the layout tab, we'll be looking at page orientation, we'll be looking at size and then margins. This is because these three things are very crucial to the preparation of any document at all. You need to choose your paper size. If it is A4, A5, you need to choose the orientation. If it is landscape or portrait, and you have to choose the margin. So without much ado, let's go straight to what we have today, which is day 4 in the beginners class of Microsoft Office Word. So on the clipboard there, we have the cut, we have the copy, we have the paste, and then we have the format painter. Now, most people have used the cut, copy, and paste. What I'm sure most people haven't used because they don't know how to use it is this format painter. And in my years of teaching Microsoft Office Word, most people sincerely don't know how the format painter works. So we'll be doing justice to all of them with an exception of no one. This is some of the benefits you get by learning from an excited teacher like me, Sakawaka. So here I already prepared something. Not really, yeah, I just typed it. Like I said, I'm a Christian, a very active Christian in the church. And just around the corner, I saw my Sunday school booklet. I decided to pick these out for the purpose of this class. So by default, everything is still on its default setting, calibrate body, font 11, like I told you before. So what I want to do now is to set all of them to font 14, which we've done before. Yes, to font 14. And the next thing is I want to justify all of them. Like you can see here, you can see the arrangement here. This, I told you to always take note of this. So let me justify to see how we can make everything. You see? You see how it looks as though they use ruler to measure this edge. That is the work of justify, as you can see here under paragraph. So now, if you look carefully, the cut and the copy are not active. That is because we've not selected anything. So if we select something, we can be able to cut or copy. But before you cut or copy anything, let me explain what they are. Now, while working, there are scenarios whereby what you put in one part of the document is not supposed to be there. You have to move it from where it is to the position you want it to. Now, instead of deleting and retyping that thing, what you can do is to use the cut. Which will enable you to move it from where it is to where you want to place it. However, there are other scenarios that you just want to create a copy of what you've done before and just be putting them where you want. In that case, since you are not removing the original text or whatever it is you want to move, probably object, because the copy and cut also work on objects. So if you don't want to move them, what you can use then is the copy. So it's just like when you are tearing a particular page of a book to paste it somewhere else, that is cut. When you cut that particular page of the book, the page doesn't remain in that location. You can only find it in where you paste it, which means you've moved that entire page from where it was to another new location. But in the case of copy, it's just like you are copying from a textbook to a notebook. When you copy from a textbook to a notebook, the original text is there in the textbook. You just create a duplicate of it in the notebook, which means at any point in time you can go back to the original to make more copies, or refer to your notebook to make more copies for other notebooks. What I'm trying to say is that with cut, the original is taken out and placed in a new position, while for copy, the original copy remains there while you create duplicate in other locations. So with that being said, let's go on. Now, let's say this is brief history from here. Now, let's say I don't want this to be here, for example. I don't want it to be here, but I still need this somewhere else. What I will do is, since I don't want it here, I will cut it, which is this scissors icon. I will just click on cut, left click on it, which is the same thing as Ctrl X. By the time I click on it, you see it's gone, right? Yes, the original is gone, but it doesn't mean that it is no longer existing. What I will do is to move to where I want it. Probably I want it here. So I press my enter key and then gives me this space. What I will do then, since I cut it, I'll come here and then click on paste, which is Ctrl V. Click on paste. Now you see the thing I moved from the top, I have now the thing I cut from the top and now paste here, which means remove the original copy and then paste it in the new location. And that is the function of cut. Of course, paste is used to drop whatever you cut or copy in the location you want that in. That is the function of paste. So let me undo. That is to reverse what I've done so far. I will click on my undo, which is Ctrl Z as the shortcut. So I have undo the actions, and here it is again. So undo is to reverse what you've done, and then you have redo, which is to reverse what you've done with your undo button. Don't forget, undo is to reverse what you've done, while the redo is used to reverse the action of the undo. Like if I redo, you see it reverse what my undo has done. And if I want to undo my redo, I just click and then takes it back. So I want to create a copy of this now down somewhere. Let's say from here to this place. I want to create a copy of it. I don't want to cut it. I don't want to remove the original, but to create a copy, a duplicate. I'll click on copy, and then let's say I want that duplicate here. I click here, or I double click. Yes, then click on paste. Now you see this is a copy of it. By the time I'll scroll up, you see the brief history there, right? By the time I scroll up, I have another copy of it here. So this is the original, and this one down here is the duplicate copy. That is how the copy, cut, and paste works. Now coming to the format painter, it's one of the unique features I like in Microsoft Office Word, that when I use it, all those around, I always get that they'll be like, wow, that is crazy, that is dope. So how does the format painter works? Now what it does is it copies the format you apply to a particular text or object. Mind you, all of these, they work for both object and text. So not just text alone, but also object. So the format painter is used to copy the format applied to a particular text or object to another text or object. It's not copying the text itself, but the format applied to it. So let's say here now, on this brief history, for example, I bold it, and then I add color. Let's say I choose color. Wow, I like this color green. What else can I do? Okay, let me say I choose these font style. Let's say this Britannic bold. Yeah, let's say I use this Britannic bold, for example. No, it's becoming too clumsy. Let me choose something else. Let me choose something else, something like let me try this one. Okay, it's far better for me. Now I have bolding this one, choosing this font style with this font color and any other thing I feel like doing to it. Now once I'm done, and then I feel like I want this my vision and mission to look just like this brief history. What I will do is I will copy this format. Hmm? I will copy it to that vision and mission. How will I do that? Highlight, you mustn't highlight all of them. Just highlight anything, even though it's just an alphabet that has the format you're looking for. Highlight it, come to Format Painter, click on it, and then to give you a magical brush. You see this brush? That brush works magic. Now, our cursor have turned to this Format Painter brush. All you need to do is to highlight what you want to apply the text to using the brush. Once you finish highlighting, voila. You see the magic, you see the magic. I love Format Painter. You see it, right? So taking the exact format of this and then applied it to this one. So which means even though I don't know what was done to make this look like this, I can always get it. How? Just use the Format Painter. Highlight any word there, use the Format Painter. Scroll to where you want, let's say to this other brief history, and use this brush just to brush it, highlight, and you have it. So that is how the Format Painter works. In the same time, I can just say, okay, I want the whole of this to be script empty, bold, script empty, whatever it is there, script empty, bold. Now I want this same format to be applied here. What will I do? I'll click on my Format Painter, use it to highlight the whole of this. Now you see it. You see it, right? You see it. I did not come to look for the script empty bold for this. I only looked for it here, and then use my Format Painter to apply it here. And that is how it works for Format Painter. However, there's another thing there which is called the clipboard. What is the clipboard? The clipboard is actually a storage location for anything that is being copied or cut in the computer. It is storage location, like I said. So whatever I've copied, I can continue pasting. Yeah, I can continue pasting. You see, it pastes the brief history again, and if I want, I can still paste it. The reason I'm able to do that is because you can see the one I just dropped, is because that thing I copied, this one that I copied initially, yeah, that I copied, is stored somewhere, and where that thing is stored is in the clipboard. So if I click on this button, I will see all the things that I have copied or cut in the computer. So if I clear all that, if I clear this now, I won't have anything to paste because nothing is saved for me to paste except I copy something new. So here you can see the paste button is not active for obvious reason that I just explained. That reason is that which I copied or cut, as the case may be, has been removed from its storage location, which is the clipboard. And with that, we are done with the clipboard. So like I used to say, I value you, you are important to me, you are special to me. And that is because I appreciate the fact that you take out of your resources, you took out of your money, your time, your everything to make sure that you follow through this course in order to become a professional user of Microsoft Office Word, even though this is just the beginner class. So if you have any question, you are not clear with any of the concept I've explained so far, please let me know. DM me, send me text message, call me. I'm ready for you, and I promise to provide the best answer I can to make you understand, even though it will warrant me create a personalized video to explain that concept to you. I will, and I will be happy doing so. Remember, I'm your ever joyous teacher of facilitator, Sakawaka. So let's move on to styles now. Let's move on to styles now. Okay. Now, one thing you should know about styles is that they are like templates. They are predefined designs that you can apply to your work. Predefined designs that you can apply to your work. So if I type, for example, Ctrl A to highlight all, Ctrl A to highlight all, and then I clear formatting to take. I explained this clear all in the previous videos. So I've clicked on the clear formatting to return everything back to default, and then let's say I typed like this. Let me justify. I love justification very much. So I'll come to my styles, and I will look, okay, which of these can I use for my work? The way it is here, the way this preview sample is, that is how your work will be, the part that you highlight. So let's say I want this, for example, this intense reference. If I click on it, you see that exactly the way this sample looks is how this one looks, and that is why I said it is a predefined design that you can apply to your work. However, this can be altered. How can it be altered? Click on design. In version 2.7 and some other versions, I think the design is built together with the styles somewhere here before the editing. So you click on the design. Now you can see the styles, right? You can see them. So what you do is you come to colors in order to alter the color of the style. What you want is the style, right? So you can choose, check, okay, which one can I use? You see, as you scroll down, it changes to reflect these color combinations here. So anyone you feel comfortable with, you can use. Now I also have font, which is the same thing as my font face or font style. There is no font style that it's synonymous to our handwriting. So here I can just scroll down, scroll up, choose over to see how each of them looks. And once I'm okay with what I see, I will click on it. So I don't think I like that one. Let me go up a little. Okay, let me use this one. And then I can also pick my paragraph spacing. We've discussed paragraph before, but this is just predefined. So let me use open or relax. Let me use tight, for example. Now you can see how clumsy they are. So depending on what I want, I'll just click. So for now, I'm going with the double. It's spacious for me. I'm not feeling suffocated with it. So that is it for the styles. When we get to references, I will come back to these styles in order to teach you how you can use them to create your table of content and some other things. But for now, just know that there are predefined designs that are applied to your body of work. Now, coming to editing, you have find, replace, and select. It's simple. From here now, let's assume that you are working with almost 500 pages of a document, and there's a particular thing you want to look for. You don't need to read through all those 500 plus pages. What you need to do is to find. So let's say I'm looking for a legal agreement that you've typed, and they say, okay, they change that person's name from John to James. Instead of you to be reading through the document to find where John is, in order for it to replace it with James, you can just find, and under here you have what? Replace. So let me say I'm looking for Grace, for example. Let me say I'm looking for Grace, for example. I'll type the Grace here and then press enter. Now you see it highlights where Grace is for me, right? Now I can click on the next one, click on the next one. It keeps highlighting where Grace is for me. You see it? That is it. That is it. Now this Grace, now if I want to change it to Mercy, what I will do is I'll come to replace. Replace. Now you see this dialog box. Find is Ctrl F and replace is Ctrl H, while go to is Ctrl G. Those are the shortcuts. So for my replace, for this is what I'm looking for, Grace. I want to replace it with what? I want to replace it with Mercy. So I type the Mercy. Do I just want to apply it to this one that is highlighted? If it is yes, I'll just click on replace, and then to replace only this. But I want the Mercy to replace all the Grace found in this document. So what I will do will be to replace all. They say we made for replacement. Of course, continue. And then we are done. Okay. Now, anywhere there is Grace, you notice it has changed to what? Mercy. It has changed to Mercy. So let me search for Mercy. Let me search for Mercy. Enter. Now you can see Mercy here. Take note, it's by the mercy of God. Before it was by the grace of God. And then here you see all of them have changed to what? Mercy. So that is how you use the find and then the replace. As for the selecting, you can select objects. So when we get to insert, I think in our intermediate class, you need to draw object and even table. That will teach you how to select table. For now, our focus is on the select, or which is the same thing as Ctrl A. So if I want to select all the text, all the objects in this document, what I need to do is to click on select all, which is the same thing as Ctrl A, and from here I can do whatever I want with the document. Yeah, it's been nice, and I just love teaching these. It gives me joy to see that people are actually learning to make themselves better. And for that, you are special, you are unique, you are a rare breed of yourself, you are a rare species of yourself. Give it up for yourself. You are simply amazing. So with that, before I forget, I love you. I love you wherever you are following through with your resources. I truly, truly appreciate you, and I love you for that. So the next thing here is orientation, which is a layout. So for orientation, we have two major types of orientation, which is landscape and portrait. Portrait is when you keep your paper in a vertical position, while landscape is when you keep your paper in a horizontal position. Now, you will not appreciate it until you preview your work. Until you preview your work. Now, you can see that this is portrait, right? It's standing vertically. However, if I should change it to landscape, I don't want to do it from this setting. I want us to do it normally from here. If I should, it by default on portrait, if I change it to landscape, you can see it kept horizontally. Now let's see. I've clicked on the landscape. look at the print preview now. You see it is now kept horizontally. So depending on what you want to do, you can either choose between portrait or landscape. And then for the size, now normally there are different ways that papers are categorized. The most common is through the paper size, and the most common paper size I know of is A4. So if you want to do something on papers that are not A4, you come to size and then you choose. A3 is twice as big as A4, while A4 is twice as big as A5. B4 is the British standard of the A4 paper, and so on. So any paper size you want, you click. If the size you are looking for is not here, you can click on more paper sizes, and from here all you need to do is to set the width in inches. Yes, so this measurement is done in inches. So what you do is inches or centimeter, which of them again. So what you do is you set them according to how you want it to. You can increase or decrease the height. You can do that. So that is it. Currently it's on 11.69 and 16.54, which is the height, and then 11.69 as the width. When you alter them, you come here and click on OK. But for now, let me take it back to A4. You see, it's smaller than the A3 that it was. The next thing is margin. What is margin? This is your margin. You have your vertical margins both sides. At the same time, you have your horizontal margin up and down your page. This is your horizontal margin, top horizontal margin, and then below here you have your bottom horizontal margin. You can see it. While this is your left vertical margin and this is your right vertical margin. So you can alter them. You can see you can write beyond the margin. You can alter them. If you click, for example, I want it now to check, the margin becomes smaller, as you can see. And then I can say I want it to be wide rather. You see it has become bigger both left and right, and so on. So depending on how you want your margin to be, you can come to margin under layout and click. At the same time, you can manually adjust the margin by just clicking where your arrow shows the way it is showing on the margin. All you need to do is to left click and then drag. Set your margin by custom. You see it. Put it between the up and down. Click and drag. You see my margin now. So you can still customize them if the margin size you want is not here, but I prefer to use the normal. And with so much excitement, I'm happy to say that that is the end of our day 4 class. It comes as a strong recommendation that you should practice. Watch my videos and practice. Practice only makes for improvement. If practice makes for improvement, now think about it. What will happen if you don't practice? Don't even imagine it. So keep on practicing, keep on making mistakes, and keep on pushing to improve on your mistakes to become better. While you do that, I'm here for you. If you have any question at all, please send me a message, call me any way you can get across to me, and I'll be happy to help out. I remain your facilitator, the ever joyous one, Sakawaka.